Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 15th of March, comes to you from London. And more green on the screen today, so we've got off to a good start for the week just at a glance. Taking a look at the dollar index first of all, remembering this is my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. We'll look at the markets generally to begin with, then a little bit of energy, and last of all, we'll look at the coronavirus stats and where we're at. So we see here that the dollar is continuing its medium-term recovery. Short-term, we're starting to see a little bit of a turnaround again. We've got a little upside target, some 2%. We did see the dollar fall the last few days of last week, but we are seeing this long-term recovery still underway. That means the euro is still looking weaker, sitting below that 120 level, and we're just coming off the top. Trend transition here to bearish, and it really shows up on the dollar yen chart. So if you want to really see where the dollar is strong, we see here at 109 against the yen, starting to eat into the levels that we saw a year ago. So dollar strength is really key there. Sterling is actually up slightly against that stronger dollar, and we are seeing here that the trend is key there as well. Taking a look at the euro chart, sterling is also pushing higher there, so looking strong there too. Bitcoin is sitting at $56,800, just a little bit of a turn down there, but not enough to take the lagging line bearish. Medium and long-term trends still up. And interestingly, the downside targets have come off the chart, so that's really significant. We've got a target to 96,000, and that one to 107 is still very much in train, so the longer-term picture is still looking pretty good. The S&P 500 index, not much change on Friday, but in bullish trends on all three time frames. The bigger issue really is tech stocks. The Nasdaq did recover slightly, so we are looking a little bit better there. And the futures are up 0.3% on the S&P future and on the Nasdaq future. The VIX volatility is up slightly, but the trend the last few days has been bearish. That's good for the market, of course. The fear index is falling. The FTSE future is up 0.4%. And if we look at the cash market in Germany, the DAX is holding on to its new highs. Note the FTSE still has work to do to break last year's high levels. Quite a lot of work to do there, so that's quite significant. The CAC Quarante up 0.46% and starting to knock on the door of new highs there as well, so that's looking better. Japan was up just under 1%, looking strong on all three time frames. The Chinese market was actually down 1%, so short-term bearish this week, finding some support on the cloud medium term, and the long-term targets still very much there. The Aussie market actually very flat, and the Indian market actually was down heavily, down 1.3%. So we've seen Asian markets a little bit mixed. Looking at gold, we see that's up 0.25% at 1730. The recovery continues here. We've got a target to 1860, not yet activated. We need to break above 1743, say, to activate that. So that will be interesting to watch, but it does look like gold's coming off the bottom. Silver, similarly looking strong, and bullish still on all three time frames. Copper down slightly, but the trend's still looking amazing. US 10-year yield sitting at 1.61%, so the trend's still very bullish on all three time frames now for yield bond yields, and the same with the 30-year bonds. So just coming away a little bit today, but still looking very, very strong indeed. The energy mix, we put our weekly energy report out to clients this morning. The big change, there aren't really many changes. We were on Brent Crude, we were for the week we were neutral last week, and we remain neutral this week as well, so that's quite key. And the same for WTI. US nat gas, we were bearish last week, and our bearishness continues this week, so that's quite key. We've got downside targets there. Coal is sitting at $70 this morning, up 1%, and again looking like it will move higher. Emissions pushing higher still, and we're seeing gas prices weaker today German power, we've got some good upside targets there. We've covered those again in our report. And we are seeing some of the other power markets turning more bullish as well. Taking a look at the COVID-19 stats, not great news for France. We're seeing here on cases, they're rising in France. Germany also slightly rising, and the great thing about this being an Updata is this is coming from our world of data. In all versions of Updata you can run this. We're seeing here the trend just kicking up in Germany and France, whereas it's falling in UK and the US. That's showing up in the death rate. Sadly, it's flatter in France and Germany, falling away more heavily in the UK. Even the US has seen a little bit of a kick up. Hospitalizations, we're seeing France again increasing. That's a worry. And of course, the vaccination trends still continue. Seeing a little bit of an improvement there on France and Germany as well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.